All right, so we're gonna dive into the warp today.
Oh,
Yeah, and it's basically
like a mirror universe?
yeah, but like instead of reflections, it's like it's powered by all the emotions and souls that have ever existed.
Whoa, okay.
We've got some seriously intense Warhammer 40K lore to like guide us through this.
That sounds wild. I mean, like, can you imagine
Yeah.
a dimension like shaped by something as intangible as emotion?
It's kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah.
We're going to explore exactly what this warp is, how it connects to like the real world, and why it's got so much power and danger in the Warhammer 40K universe.
Right.
Like, just imagine a place where time and space are like fluid,
Oh.
where your deepest fears can like literally materialize.
Oh, wow.
That's the warp?
The source material, it actually describes it as this like vast, chaotic ocean of energy.
Mhm.
And there are currents in the warp that can like propel a ship across the galaxy faster than light.
Oh, wow.
But they can just as easily like toss you into a soul-crushing storm.
Okay, so that brings us to like warp travel.
Right.
Spaceships use something called a warp drive to achieve faster than light travel.
Yeah.
But it's not like setting your GPS. You
No,
know?
no, no. It's way more unpredictable.
Yeah.
A journey through the warp could take days, years, or even send you like spiraling backward in time.
Whoa.
It's a gamble,
Totally.
to say the least.
And to navigate this chaotic realm,
Uh,
you need someone with some pretty unique skills, the navigators.
oh yeah, the navigators, humans born with a third eye
What?
that allows them to perceive the currents of the warp and like guide ships through its treacherous currents.
So they can see it.
They can see it.
Oh, wow.
It's a high-stress job, I'd say,
I bet.
to say the least.
Now, the warp, it isn't just an empty space.
Right.
It's teeming with entities.
It's-
And let's be honest.
Yeah.
Most of them aren't exactly friendly.
Right, we're talking about demons here.
Demons.
Yeah, and they're not your friendly neighborhood ghosts. Demons are embodiments of pure emotion, and they're usually not happy to see you.
So these demons are basically emotions given like monstrous form.
Precisely.
Oh, wow.
The source material describes them as creatures formed from raw emotions like rage, despair, or lust.
Yeah.
They're constantly trying to breach our reality, which is why warp travel requires some serious protection.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the concept of chaos itself.
Okay.
If the warp is the raw energy, then chaos is that energy given form and power by our emotions.
Right.
At the heart of this system are the chaos gods.
Yes. Each chaos god embodies a different aspect of like our emotional spectrum.
Okay,
So there's Korn, the blood god, who thrives on rage and war.
makes sense.
Then we have Nurgle, the plague god, who revels in despair and decay.
Okay.
Slanesh, the prince of pleasure, embodies excess and hedonism.
Oh, wow.
And finally, there's Sinich, the changer of ways, who embodies change and manipulation.
So it's like looking at a twisted reflection of humanity.
It is, yeah.
All our darkest impulses amplified to a terrifying degree.
Absolutely.
Makes you think twice about losing your temper.
It does. The Warhammer 40K universe really drives home the point that our emotions,
Yeah.
even the seemingly insignificant ones,
Right.
have a profound impact on the warp.
Interesting.
They can literally fuel these powerful entities.
Whoa.
And what's even more chilling is that these chaos gods are constantly vying for dominance in a cosmic power struggle known as the Great Game.
So this great game
Yeah,
is basically a never-ending battle between these gods.
pretty much.
And
yeah.
it's playing out across the warp,
It is.
even spilling over into our reality.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
And that's where things get really interesting for the inhabitants of the Warhammer 40K universe.
Okay.
Because this cosmic power struggle has very real consequences for them.
So we're talking about things like warp rifts and storms that can tear into reality.
Yeah, we've got entries here
Okay.
about the Eye of Terror, the Maelstrom, and the Great Rift. These aren't just events in some far-off dimension. They can
right.
wipe out entire planets.
That's intense.
It makes you wonder how anyone can, like, survive in a universe facing those kinds of threats.
Right. I mean, if these chaos gods are as powerful as you're saying, and the warp is this dangerous, unpredictable place,
Yeah.
what hope does anyone even have?
Well, the different factions in Warhammer 40K have come up with various ways to protect themselves, some more effective than others.
Like what kind of defenses are we talking about here?
Take the Emperor of Mankind, for instance.
Okay.
He uses his immense psychic might to shield the Imperium,
Which is
which is essentially like a vast human empire.
okay.
Then you've got the Eldar,
Uh-huh.
a race known for their mastery of psychic powers.
Right.
They use spirit stones to safeguard their souls from the warp's influence.
Interesting.
especially from Slaanesh.
Wait, why are the Eldar specifically worried about Slaanesh?
Well, it's a fascinating bit of history, actually. Slaanesh's birth was directly caused by the Eldar's excessive, decadent behavior in the past.
Whoa.
You could say Slaanesh is the embodiment of their collective shadow.
Like their bad karma.
Pretty much. It's a cautionary tale about the consequences of unchecked desires.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah.
So besides psychic shields and spirit stones, what other defenses are out there?
The Imperium also relies heavily on technology and faith.
Okay.
They've got massive warships equipped with weapons designed to combat demonic incursions.
Wow.
And their faith in the Emperor acts as a kind of spiritual armor against the corrupting influence of chaos.
It sounds like a constant struggle against, like, overwhelming odds.
It is, yeah.
But what about those who actually worship the Chaos God?
Oh, yeah.
Who are these people, and what do they hope to gain?
The followers of chaos are as varied as the emotions that fuel the warp itself.
Okay.
You've got Chaos Space Marines, who are corrupted remnants of the Emperor's once loyal legions.
Really?
There are cults and warbands devoted to specific chaos gods, each with their own twisted rituals and beliefs.
So some people are, like, literally turning to these entities for power.
Precisely.
Right.
They believe that by embracing the power of chaos, they can transcend their mortal limitations and achieve a form of immortality or ultimate power.
But it can't be that simple, right? There have
Yeah.
to be downsides to making deals with these chaos gods.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
The path of chaos is paved with peril.
Okay.
The chaos gods are fickle and demanding masters.
Right.
Their gifts often come with a heavy price,
Yeah.
twisting the bodies and minds of their followers.
Oh.
Those who delve too deeply into the warp risk losing their humanity and becoming slaves to their own desires.
So it's like a classic Faustian bargain.
Exactly.
You gain power, but lose yourself in the process.
Yeah, the allure of chaos is undeniably powerful, but its promises are deceptive.
Right?
Those who seek its embrace must tread carefully, because the path to damnation is often paved with good intentions.
That's deep.
It is.
Okay, so if the chaos gods are so powerful and their followers are actively trying to, like, bring about chaos,
Yeah.
how does anyone in the Warhammer 40K universe even survive? Is there any hope for them?
That's the question that drives the narrative of Warhammer 40K.
Yeah.
That's the central question hanging over the Warhammer 40K universe.
Yeah.
Is there any hope of permanently defeating chaos? Or is the galaxy doomed to an endless cycle of war and destruction? The answer, like the warp itself, is shrouded in mystery and uncertainty.
Which, let's be honest, is what keeps us all on the edge of our seats.
Absolutely.
But there's one thing I still don't quite get.
Okay.
We've been talking about negative emotions fueling the warp.
Right.
But what about positive emotions? Do they have any impact?
That's an excellent question.
Yeah.
And it gets to the heart of what makes the warp so complex.
Okay.
While it's primarily associated with negative emotions, the warp is also influenced by positive emotions like hope, love, and compassion.
So you're saying that our positive emotions are also feeding the warp?
In a sense, yes.
Okay.
But think of it as a counterbalance to the darkness of chaos.
Right.
These positive emotions create a kind of resistance, a glimmer of hope in this otherwise grim, dark universe.
That's actually a big comfort. So it's not just about suppressing our negative emotions,
No.
but also about cultivating positive ones.
Exactly.
Okay.
The Warhammer 40K universe suggests that the battle against chaos isn't just a physical conflict, but also a spiritual one.
I see.
By nurturing those positive emotions, we contribute to the fight against chaos, both within ourselves and in the wider universe.
It's a powerful message,
It is.
reminding us that even in the darkest of times, hope and compassion can make a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really makes you think about, like, the power of our choices, even the small ones.
It really does. It highlights like the interconnectedness of everything.
Right.
Even in a universe as vast and chaotic as Warhammer 40K, individual actions, they like ripple outwards.
Okay, so we've talked about how even our positive emotions, they contribute to the warp.
Right.
What happens when those good vibes aren't enough?
Yeah.
When planets are swallowed by warp rifts or entire civilizations crumble under the weight of chaos, are there real wins, in this, like, eternal struggle?
That's a complex question. Yeah.
Victory in the Warhammer 40K universe is rarely clear-cut.
Right.
Sometimes it's simply like holding back a demonic invasion for another day.
Oh, okay.
Other times it's like a small act of defiance against overwhelming odds.
So it's more about resilience than outright conquest.
Exactly.
Okay.
Even the Emperor, with all his might, hasn't eradicated chaos.
Right.
He's managed to contain it, to hold it at bay.
Yeah.
It's a constant push and pull, a cosmic tug of war with the fate of the galaxy hanging in the balance.
Sounds exhausting.
It is a lot.
But if every act of courage,
Yeah.
every soul saved from corruption tips the scales even slightly,
Right.
then it's a fight worth fighting. Right.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Even in a universe as grimdark as Warhammer 40K,
Yeah.
individual choices,
Yeah.
they matter. Every decision to resist the lure of chaos, to hold on to hope in the face of despair, it has a ripple effect.
So that brings us to a really interesting question.
Okay.
We know the chaos gods feed on our, negative emotions.
But what if enough people, consciously choose hope? Could we actually weaken them? Starve them out, so to speak?
It's a fascinating concept.
Yeah.
The idea that we could reshape the warp itself by, shifting our collective focus towards positivity and compassion.
Right.
I mean, if the warp is a mirror of our collective psyche, then perhaps by changing ourselves, we can change the very fabric of that dimension.
It's like a glimmer of hope in a universe that often seems devoid of it.
Yeah.
Maybe, just maybe, we have more power than we realize.
I think so. Perhaps the battle against chaos isn't just about fighting the symptoms, but addressing the root cause.
Right.
It's about recognizing the power of our choices and striving to become something better, something brighter.
Wow, that's powerful. And on that note,
Yeah.
we've reached the end of our deep dive into the warp.
That was a journey.
Yeah, we explored its chaotic nature,
Right.
the terrifying entities that dwell within it,
Yeah.
and the constant struggle against the forces of chaos.
It's a tough universe.
It is. But we've also seen that even in this grimdark universe, hope endures.
It does.
Our choices matter.
They do.
Our emotions have power.
A lot of power.
And if the warp is a reflection of our collective psyche, then perhaps by changing ourselves, we can change the fate of the galaxy.
Yeah, said.
Remember to like and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into fascinating topics like this one.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.